I would like to call to order the Public Arts Commission of Indio to order, please. That's for March 8th, and we are at 5:31 p.m. Could we have roll call, please?
Commissioner Becerra?
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz Sendejas is absent. Vice Chairperson Niemeyer?
Here.
Chairperson Shinsky?
Here. Sure. Commissioner Newmeyer, would you like to lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item number 3, public comments for items not on the agenda.
There are none.
All right, thank you. And item number 4, presentation by local artists and or arts organizations. None. Item 5, action items. 5.1, work plan will be addressed by staff person Layla Nambar.
Good evening, Mr. Chair and members of the Public Arts Commission. The first item before you is an action item. It is the work plan that the commission worked with previous staff, and also the chair and the staff worked recently on revising it. And do we have a pointer? Oh, is this one? Sorry, I'm just going to get the pointer. There it is. Thank you. Thank you. And so it is per the commission's direction is based on the strategic plan that was completed in 2021. And as you see, the mission and the vision that Public Arts Commission chose and drafted is on this slide as a reminder. So we took a look at those two. Also, we took a look at all the goals and values and made sure the projects will be in line with those goals and values of the strategic plan. The work plan shows the ongoing or current projects that we currently working on. We have mural conservation. We have the 16 traffic signal boxes. We need to get 20 more images for 20 more traffic signal boxes. We have Miles Avenue Bridge project. We have Cerebral Cay. We have Colossal Cacti. We have the 9/11 Memorial project, which was in work plan previously. However, we didn't add the budget here to the current. We're including the budget to the new projects because the location of project description has changed. So for the 9/11 Memorial Project, which it will come before you again tonight, later on, we are anticipating around $125,000 project cost, total project cost. We think staff and also basically the chairperson that we worked on with that to do an RFP, request for proposal for artist selection. The new location is the city's new public safety campus that will be located on the current location of the police headquarters and fire station number 1 on the northeast corner of Jackson and Dr. Carrion. We are thinking a 24-month timeline to be in line with the completion or near completion of the public safety campus. The other new projects will be new murals. One of them is a mural by the Colossal Cacti on that wall, as you see, which is part of the I think, Hispanic Chamber of Commerce building. With the budget anticipated for it is $25,000. Again, going through RFP. The location is on Smith Street, and the anticipated timeline is 4 months to get it done. All the new project start date is the new fiscal year, so we'll start from then. And in your staff report, we also provided the basically connected goals or values for each project, but I didn't put it in a slide because we have a long agenda. And then the mural will be a backdrop or a background for the colossal cacti to kind of like connect it with the surrounding area and create a place, as opposed to just have individual statues there. The other mural project is Jackson Bridge over the railroad or in the boulevard mural. So to create something geometric with the pillars, and then also, as you see, there's a large planter there, which is sand currently. So we think by adding some colored rocks, the same way that we did it on Jefferson Bridge, will be make it more pleasing, at least, and then it won't require any maintenance or landscape or water usage. Again, the anticipated budget is $45,000. RFP for artist selection, and we think it will be 5 months from the time that we start this project. The small murals, so these are the murals that it could be done on infrastructure or pipes and things like that, as you see on the screen, catch basins. So those kind of like fun, and it could give the person who discovers them a sense of discovery and a sense of so we think 5 of these for this project plan will be good for $500 a piece. CV Link, which again comes before you later on the agenda, for $50,000 for adding some type of art piece or art, public art to it, which again, it comes before you later in the agenda. And then new projects, again, another second interim monument sign, which we think $125,000. The 3 priority location will be corner of Jefferson and Warner, south of the Shadow Hills RV, Jackson and I-10 in that grass area south of Armory, which available, and then Monroe and Avenue 52, which is close to the festival's ground, and 12 to 18 months to do so. City parks, we are thinking to add some unique elements to each park with community outreach and input by collaboration with the Community Services Commission and City's Public Work. $35,000, again, go through RFP circulation, and then 12 months. Signage for City Public Arts collection, each basically to create a instant connection between the viewer and the art piece is when you at least know what is the name of the art piece is and who is the artist. Beside that, we think other things like when it was created, what are the materials, and other information could be there, which simply could be an RFQ. It could be a QR code. So by scanning it, it could take people to the information regarding that piece. And we anticipate for each of our art pieces in our art collection, including all the statues, murals, traffic signal boxes, and any future, we should have create something like that for our collection to create more connection between the viewer and the art piece. Another new project is Artistic Sidewalk, which, as you see on these images, it could be any of these or anything out of those images with collaboration with artists. We think 2 of them will be for this plan, and we will just create this for the existing crosswalks, and it will be with coordination with the Public Works Department. Artist registry, again, in line of, promoting the artists. So this is a project that we should do. There is no cost to it. It's staff time, and we will make sure that we can do it with the means that we already have. So we don't add any cost to the budget. The other one is, again, identifying the arts organizations within the Indio and within Coachella Valley. Again, no cost to the art fund. It will be staff time, and it will be something that will be provided online. Another piece of this work plan is the money for inspection, inventory, maintenance, and conservation of our art collection, that we think we should done that periodically based on the maintenance program that we get from the artists. And if needs to, we go out and, for example, for the mural conservation, we had to hire a third-party company. But for this year, we think $10,000 would be sufficient. So overall budget for this work plan will be about $442,000. And staff recommendation is that Public Arts Commission review the work plan, discuss it, and basically if you accept it, then the next step will be to recommend approval to the City Council for the review and approval and appropriation of the budget. I will conclude the first report. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Laila. Any questions?
Are these in any sort of order, like by priority, or is it just going to be like what are we prioritizing first on the work plan? Is there some order, or is?
So if the commission wishes to prioritize, then we can prioritize it. But for example, 9/11, we don't have to have it right now because of the construction of the campus, public safety campus. But Colossal Cacti Mural and the bridge, because they kind of like weave into each other and creates an entry to downtown, maybe that will be the first. But the timeline is just to say all of these will get done within that year. But if the commission would like to prioritize it, the staff is open to that. Yes, sir.
If we can refer back to slide number 3, can you pull that PowerPoint back up? It perhaps identifies somewhat of a timeline on that particular slide. So to Commissioner Becerra's point, if we're happy to move these timelines around, but this gives you a better idea as to some of the completions and commencement of the items.
Well, too, I think that just the nature of each project will assist in determining how long and the priority. I mean, some are very short-term projects, and some, the monuments, et cetera, are long-term, and we know that going in. The murals are shorter term. The mini murals, if you want to call them that, is much shorter than that. So it's almost an automatic prioritization of projects. Once we get the word, especially for the memorials, once we get the word out through the RFPs, we know that takes time to do. Word out, selection, approval, production. So I think in a way it's a natural state of progression for each one. I mean, if we prioritize one over the other, we never know what's going to happen. So I think if we just let them happen naturally, it'll behoove us all.
For example, the interim monument, the second one, the timeline is 12 months. And if we start the beginning of fiscal year, so we need to start the RFQ right there and then. So then the selection and then contract and then fabrication and installation. So if the commission would like to have more detail like that, a table that says we start here, this is that, we can create that. That's not a problem. We can create a timeline for each project, which shows what day it starts, when the RFP goes out, when will be subcommittee formed, when will be the selection, when will be contract awarded. So we can do that. That's not a problem.
But too, I think it's very important that we assign each of our projects to those specific fiscal years. So, because up until this point, where we're now really getting orderly about our progress and our job to do what we need to do, things have just kind of floated along, and we're never really followed or adhered to. But this way, I think, will keep us in very fine order, because we know in fiscal year 2022, 23, 23, 24, that we must get these things done instead of just kind of floating from year to year. I mean, the 9/11 has been around for how long? Too long. So,
but the good thing is now we have a very nice project to associate with it, which is the public safety campus. Right. That will be a very nice piece for that project. So
it makes sense.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think by just agreeing to do year by year, it will keep us in order. So.
Well, the staff noted the Commission Besser's point. So for the if it gets approved and goes to the council, we can have those timeline a little bit more clear for the council, and also it will be something for the commission to know about it as well.
Anything, AJ?
I think it's very ambitious. I'm glad that we're going to shoot for all of this, as opposed to stretching out for another decade on some of these. I think it's great. I don't really have an issue with anything.
I'm not taking any vacations.
Making us all look bad.
Well,
I think it's a lot of money, but I do have one concern within the small murals project of I don't think it's enough of 500 a piece per mini mural. Just as an artist as well, getting paid for a mural to be painted by hand. I would like to see more, but that's my opinion as an artist.
No, I understand completely. I mean, two things. Give us a number that you think would be fair. And two, we're not talking murals. We're talking like miniature.
No, yeah, I know.
But
I like maybe if we have sort of the same amount as our traffic signal boxes, like if they're going to be on that kind of same sort of spectrum of like these sort of small projects that are very limited in time, maybe we do have a set price point of like these are accessible programs for the community artists to apply for, and you can look at $750 for these projects or these for these arts.
It's basically the commission's approval or the commission's wish. These are anticipated budgets for all these projects. So if the commission would like to raise or decrease, it's the time to do so right now. Yeah.
number suggestion?
Well, I mean, we did have a program for what we called express murals, and I think our budgets for those were $2,500 for one, not including surface prep, and that was expected to be a non-permanent mural of a larger scale. These are much smaller. I don't know. I think if you put a number to it at 500, that kind of tells an artist that, hey, maybe it's something that we expect to have done in, say, 5 hours or 4 hours. Now, if we expect more time out of that, then we should probably up the price. Is that your feeling?
Yeah.
You think it's something that someone will have the creation, the painting, and done in more than, say, 5 hours?
I mean, it depends on the space too, right? Like what space and
I think if you identify a budget, you kind of let the artist know what the scale is, because you're not going to go out there and try to paint a 50-foot wall for $500, I hope. But you go small enough. The samples that they've given here, we're talking 1 foot by 2 foot, 3 feet max, that sort of thing.
Correct. And yet, the locations that are selected are some may be very challenging. So that, an artist is going to have to spend some time being very creative on how to address it in a very creative and fun way, because that's what this program's really all about. And I would say that, max $1,000, between $850 and $1,000. I mean, to me, that would be fair for the time and creative energy that someone's going to have to spend.
I agree. Yeah.
Would we ask someone to put a budget to their own number, or are we just going to tack it that this is the number regardless of scale? Or
Well, I think when you have a limited number like that, we should just be upfront and say, that we will pay you up to $1,000 for your project.
And are we expecting a proposal from each of these?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, all the projects we are going for a request for proposals. So we circulate a request for proposals. It will be open to everybody.
Okay.
And on this one, I think that, by then we should have an idea of where these will be located, and people can get an idea of the challenge that is there, so they can do their proposal and use one of those specific locations for their proposal instead of just sending imagery of their current work.
That's correct.
Well,
I just have another question
Sure.
about the monuments project. So we have the set price, but is every monument piece is different, right? So can I just get some background of how we sort of have this set amount for the monument, but we don't really know what kind of piece we're going to have in?
Sure. The two last one was about the same amount, 125,000. There was on one of them maybe a change order, but that was the base. So for example, the sequitur, that was $125,000, and we got 3 pieces and also the sign. The one with Poetic Kinetic was about the same, but it was a change order because they needed to fix the solar pieces to add more light. So that went above the budget, but around $125,000. The Oculus Soul, that one was $250,000. but that was a little bit different situation.
I was on the subcommittee for the entry monuments. Excuse me. Council at the time wanted to locate these at the boundary, of the city. Some of us on the commission would have liked to see if things moved in, either farther into the city, closer to neighborhoods, or at least more than a block, as opposed to just marking out the edge of the city.
Yeah.
There was discussion that some of the council members were hoping this would be more like entry signage, like you see in the city of Indian Wells or in the city of Palm Desert. And the commission at the time didn't feel that it was appropriate for public art funding to go towards basically signage. So that's how we ended up with that. We did have a long discussion about, we have an ambition to put at least 5 of these out. We want one artist to create a series and to lock that in with one artist, or did we want to go out to separate? And the vote went towards going to separate. So there hadn't been a unifying theme. Now that there's only one left, you can kind of run with it in any direction. I think the only thing we talked about with the unifying it was the signage, which was, I think, a Core 10 steel boulder with the text that you see on 111 and stainless. That was basically where we've gone with that. And we were going to get an entry monument out of the 9/11 monument at Jackson Street, and of course that evaporated on us. So that's basically where we are. The budgets were starting at about $80,000 is where we were seeing sculptures come in, and then having a pad for unforeseeable changes, change orders, that sort of thing. So that grew the budget's about 110, 120. So that's where the 125 comes at. I don't know with material costs these days where that number gets in, but that sets a number as to like what the scale could be.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that helps. And
then that number also is based on the money that is in the art fund. In addition, when you set a max, so the artists know what kind of material to use and, to get to that point. But it's a healthy budget. I'm confident that we will get proposals for that amount. And then again, if something comes that, of course, it's going to be a subcommittee to go through it, but if something comes that it's really wows everybody, then we can go back to the commission and ask for more and then go to the council. So those are still avenues, but I think 120, I think the commission probably could see the $125,000 will be a healthy budget for entry monument. And the reason that these locations were chose, and Mr. Shinsky actually was leaning toward those locations because the two are larger. So it's not just putting a statue in the median. So they're larger area. The Kenner has the capability for placemaking, and the Warner at Jefferson is also a large area. So that's why it was chosen. So you can have 3 different locations. Commission can take a look at, consider all those 3 locations and just maybe choose one of them tonight.
yeah, I think that was my other main concern too with this program, is that these pieces aren't very accessible as public art pieces. So that's something that I would like to see kind of change with this program, is having these pieces be accessible. People can be able to walk up towards it and interact with it somehow. But yeah.
Well, actually, location 1 and location 2 are relatively accessible. Varner and Jefferson is right on the corner, right next to the highway patrol. There's there's area to park if you want to get closer to it. And Jackson and I-10, that's the grassy area right next to the school. And there is a parking area by the armory. So yeah, it's very, you can go have a picnic there.
Yeah.
If you wanted.
Yeah, those are the 2 most accessible sites, basically. That Warner and Jefferson was not part of the interim monument master plan because the city didn't have that piece before, but currently we have it. So those are the 2 most accessible.
Yeah, if I were to lean towards any, it'd be the closer to the armory.
Jackson and I-10.
Yeah.
That's a good location. What do you think, AJ?
Yeah, we went down the road of approving a piece at one point to go there.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that disappeared.
it's like a dream.
Well, can I have a motion to approve the work plan?
Just one question. We were going to talk about changing the amount on the small murals project.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Do we need to amend that in our?
Sure.
motion?
Yeah. If that maximum is 1,000, you can make that mention that amendment. Also, if the location chosen for second interim monument is Jackson and I-10, you need to mention that as well.
A motion to approve amending the entry monument location to read Jackson and Kenner, and for the maximum for each of the small murals at $1,000 each.
And then the commission also recommending to the council to approve the work plan, correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Can I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Commissioner Becerra,
Yes.
Vice Chair Shinsky, I apologize, Vice Chair Newmeyer,
Yes.
Chairperson Shinsky.
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you. So we're gonna go to the second item on the agenda, which is the Paisley artwork from the 2019 Coachella Music and Art Festival. We were approached by Golden Voice that the Paisley piece is available. And it was created for 2019 Coachella Festival by a local artist, Sofia Enrique. She created 6 Paisley shapes. Each of them is different. They're made of wood. And as you see, they're about 16, 18 feet tall, between 10 to 16 or 18 feet tall, different shapes, different colors, very colorful. So this is available if the commission would like to get it as a long-term loan. If the commission would like to get it as a long-term loan, also the location is a question as well. Where would the commission would like to see these pieces? So that's why we are here before you, to get your recommendation about it and see if the commission would like to get them as a long-term loan like the other 2 pieces that we have from them. And just report back to them and say what we heard from the commission. Thank you.
Questions or comments?
I'd just like to say that this is a piece that I really would have preferred over the other pieces from Golden Voice. And with that said, I also think that I'm not advocating for us to get this as a long-term loan, only because now I'm understanding that the materials that are being used aren't very sustainable with these pieces. But I would like to advocate to have Sofia Enriquez do one of these pieces that we're talking about in our work plan, because I think that she's an amazing artist and I would like to see one of her installations in the city of Indio. But yeah.
I'd like to know more about the present condition. This looks like a photograph from 3 years ago. And like you said, they are made out of wood. It does not last out here very long. So also would like to know what the budget or the ask is. Is it similar to the cacti one where we're basically just paying for concrete pedestals?
So the budget is also before you. So the commission can say this is a budget that they would like to use for them. The pieces will be painted and will be installed. So similar to the other piece, the Sidewalk that we received. So we'll paint it, and if there is damage to any pieces, we'll repair it. But it is plywood, so that's just gonna stay plywood.
Was there a budget identified, or you're asking us to set a budget?
Staff is asking commission if the commission would like to get them, then the terms and budget and conditions, you can set it as well.
Okay, well, because there wasn't a value assessed to moving it or installing it. So
I think Mr. Trujillo.
Yeah, really what this is item, if you want these pieces, they're yours.
Okay.
They're going to give them to us for free. In terms of installation, there's going to be costs associated with that, but we're not to that step yet.
Well, plywood and desert weather do not mix. They wouldn't, they may last a while, but not that long. Same thing with Sidewalk. It's wood. It's not going to last that long. I do not like the idea of Indio becoming the storage house for Golden Voice's former pieces. It's just every time we take something from Golden Voice, we are taking away from another artist. All the people that have done Golden Voice projects have been paid. They're not losing anything. The artists that we could be helping are losing. And I have to disagree strongly with Commissioner Becerra. I do not think this artist is justified by the reputation she has. Her reputation is not justified. I don't want.
I don't understand. What do you mean her entire reputation isn't justified?
As an quote unquote artist.
Because
she's derivative. She's using the age-old story. She socializes with the right people and got noticed.
She's worked her butt off to be able to create.
That's debatable.
Chairperson Shinsky, if I may, rather than debate the merits of the artist, which is not the item before you, if we can perhaps get back to the question that is before you, whether or not you want to obtain these pieces, or not, and if no, I think that's kind of the direction that I'm kind of hearing that. Commissioner Becerra indicated that not particularly these pieces, you like the artist, but no to the piece. Perhaps with Chairperson Shinsky also not in love with the material and so forth. And I think Vice Chair also echoed some similar sentiments. So if we could bring the conversation, if I may,
back to square one,
please.
I think without knowing about the current condition or what it's going to take to move these things, I'm not prepared to vote on whether or not to approve or not approve them right now. I'd like to know a little bit more about them. And I do feel it is very similar to the last project that came our way. It would be nice to have the information in front of us as far as, a quick few photos of the current condition. What is there? Another location set, or are we asking us to do that? There's not a whole lot of information. There's no background report or anything. It's just a couple lines on the agenda. And I think that would save us from having a disagreement over whether or not we like the piece or not. I'd like to know more about the condition before going further.
Next agenda item.
So may I ask a question for clarification? Does the commission want to see this come back before you next agenda in April with the conditions situation and maybe some location that staff think might be suitable for reconsideration, or the commission doesn't want to see it on the next agenda? That's the question that I have.
I'd like to see the condition. Beyond that, if we want to put it to an ad hoc to put a location or to whether to approve it, we can bring that to the next meeting. But I'd want to know the condition before I vote to say, yes, I want the piece, or no, I don't want the piece.
All right. So if the commission would like, we can bring it back next agenda to show what condition is and what, if the secretary here is okay with that.
Please.
Vanessa?
That's fine to see the condition.
Okay. So we'll bring back with more information for you.
Two commissioners present and I want to see it brought back. I mean, it can disappear totally and I'd be happy.
All right. Sure. Okay, so next item on the agenda will be item 5.4.
5.3.
I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. Yeah, the 9/11 memorial. Sorry about that. Yeah, 5.3. We went quickly over this during the work plan. This is 9/11 Memorial Project. This is the piece that we have. It is about 10 to 12 feet tall, and it has a natural curve to it. We received it 2015, and we think it will be appropriate for basically the corner of Dr. Carrion and Jackson, which includes some date palms as well. So that's why staff is before you to get your input regarding the location, and if the commission is okay with the location and you approved it as part of the work plan, so we can go out for the rest of items to get an artist to work with this piece for that location. And basically it. We'd like to know your opinion about location, which earlier on was kind of like approved, but this is the piece that we have.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was part of the work plan and we approved the work plan, and I think the location is perfect. It makes much sense. Any other comments?
I think it's suited. Just for benefit, I did bring in a site plan for the public safety campus. Do you have a location just on the corner with the 3 trees that are here? So where the existing fire station is now, it says graded area, so they're going to tear down the station. And is the plan to eventually build another building, or is that a lot in the future?
Great question. That fire station will come down once we build the 3 buildings as part of the public safety campus. And then long-term, we will ultimately build the new police headquarters where the existing fire station sits,
Mm-hmm.
and then demo the existing police station. So on that corner, it'll be prominent with the new police headquarters.
And there's enough room in the setback and everything to place something there.
That's correct. There are a couple ideas that have been put out there. One being setting this underground as an option in terms of space. But yeah, with the setback there, it'll be relatively tight, but there is enough room.
Okay. My only other questions have to go to the process we went through before with this piece of steel. Are we under any obligation with the artists from the previous RFQ? I know that we never executed a contract with the artist that council picked.
I could not find any executed contract with any of the artists. So I can check more to see if you're under any obligation, but I believe this a stipend was paid to all of them to come up with a concept.
Mhm.
And there were 3 concepts and one was chosen, but nothing after that.
Sure. At the time, commission picked one and council picked another. And then the one that council picked, we couldn't agree to terms of the contract was it needed to be added. Then for whatever reasons, we were completely told it went away.
It was also a huge cost because there was a landscape plan associated with that.
Mhm.
That was kind of like too burdensome, I would say, on the art fund budget. So all those things. But this one is just the piece by itself because the other infrastructure and the hardscape will be there.
The only obligation we're under is if we do go with one of the artists that put forward their piece, then we obviously pay them, but we are under no obligation to go with any of the renderings that were put forth prior.
Vanessa? Any questions?
Well, I guess that's what the artist that we would commission to do, right? There's no plan from before that.
I'm sorry, could you speak to the microphone?
There's no plan from before about what was wanted with the piece.
We
right?
went to, we did a request for qualifications first. And then we selected a handful of artists and I think we did 5 designs, or was it just 3 designs?
No, we got 5.
We got 5 designs last time. And from the 5, we identified 3 that we were interested in. But like I said, we're not under an obligation to use any of those. So are we now talking if we want to do this, we're going to go back to a request for qualifications and then do another proposal round, or?
Well, we'll have to follow protocols. No.
So in the work plan, we put request for proposal.
Mhm.
So when they do request for proposal, we also ask for resume. So they say what work they have done. So, and again, we have a list of some artists that we work throughout. So we can always go back and send that to them as well. So they have the opportunity, local artists, things like that. But we also will put it, on the city's website, social media. We can advertise it on the newspaper and, radio. So we can go out even more and send it to sites that they advertise for such RFPs. So we can get more entries. But again, that was the direction that it was put into the work plan. But if you would like to choose and make it 2 steps, then that's I guess we need to go back on the work plan.
No, I think an artist's resume is their qualifications, though. I'm going to try to find an image. Another city, I can't remember where it was, had a girder similar to this, and whoever was brilliant enough to design the monument, because they had a marble plinth and the girder just going vertically into the sky. That's all it was. It was one of the most powerful things I've ever seen. When we did this process initially, the artists that gave us proposals, they gave us proposals for their sculpture and kind of ignored the fact that this girder is a piece of sculpture unto itself. And what the shape and how it got there, what made it so, they kind of ignored, in my estimation. So I think if indeed we do this again, then we need to stress that the reason why this piece of steel is the way it is, and to highlight the character of the steel, of the girder. Because that's what this monument is all about. And as far as location, it's right there with first responders.
Yes, I've seen those types that they created, because there is like thousands of these pieces that were sent to different cities and counties than they did. So if the commission would like, probably you can search it. If you put 9/11 Memorial, an artifact from the World Trade Center, it will pop. And some of them, as you said, as a chairperson, is very strong and powerful by itself.
I'd even consider if we find one that we really like the way it was presented, that we invite that same artist to do ours. Less is more on this one. The ultimate less is more. So
I think the only other item I'd have to discuss is just sculptures like Oculus Soul, the Teen Center, and the previous 9/11 monument memorial that we had picked. Those are all done through request for qualifications. Mm-hmm. And the other sculpture that we have, Sequitur, was done through proposals. So that's basically, and so was the one that Poetic Kinetics did. So that's kind of the difference that we get with our submissions is going through the RFQ or the RFP process. So just for discussion.
Well, whatever everyone is happy with, whatever we think will get our best sculpture, monument from.
If I may, Chair, the RFP, that does not need to be decided tonight.
No.
We just like to get the feedback from the commission whether or not you're okay with proceeding with the location to coincide with the public safety campus location.
Well,
I am, so long as it's safe on that corner when that fire station comes down and whatever building goes back up.
Yeah, well, it all may happen at the same time with our track record on this piece of steel. So, but are we all happy with the location?
I am.
Can I have a motion to accept the location of the 9/11 Memorial Project?
I'll motion to consider the city's new public safety campus site on northeast side of Jackson Street and Dr. Karen as designated location.
And that's for the 9/11 Memorial.
Correct.
I'll second.
Commissioner Becerra?
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Newmeyer?
Yes.
Chairperson Shinsky?
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0.
So the next item before you, I don't have a presentation, it's Teen Center Traffic Signal Box Program. So we need 20 more images. So staff was thinking we go directly to the Teen Center and basically create a RFP based on the input from the commission last time to revise the RFP and just go there, staff can provide a presentation to the teen center, to the teenagers, and then tell them what does that mean and how they can submit. So we can get additional images from the teen center and the members of the teen center faster so we can wrap up this program. And also it will be kind of like, same, follows the goals of the strategic plan to open the programs to more ages, more diverse, ages and diverse backgrounds. So, and I can work with the teen center manager. So for getting it out, posting it, and get more images faster. So staff would like to know if the commission would like that his suggestion.
You like?
Yes.
Yep, I think that's a good idea.
Can I have a motion to approve this?
I'll move that you solicit proposals for the traffic signal box from Teen Center members.
I'll second it.
Commissioner Becerra,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Newmeyer,
Yes.
Chairperson Shinsky.
Yes.
Motion carries.
So go to the next item, which is the Public Art Program and Artist Advocacy. The staff would like to suggest on any city event, we have a Public Arts Commission or City of Indio Public Arts Program booth. So at that, we can talk to the community about our commission, about the programs. Even if somebody is artist or they consider themselves artists, we can get their information and we can also enter it into the registry. Staff will be there, but if we want to make it a little bit more fun and official, maybe an ad hoc committee needs to be formed. So the ad hoc committee would be on those events, one or both members. But even if the commission would not want to do an ad hoc committee, staff will be there to basically hand out this information and collect the information. So staff would like to know if the commission would like to do such a thing, which could be at our farmers market now, our Saturdays event, and any other event that is at the city. For example, Southwest Art Festival and Tamale Festival. So there are a lot of places that we can have that booth.
Yeah,
Good idea.
I think it's a good idea.
Yes.
Motion?
I will motion to approve the Public Arts Program and Artist Advocacy.
I'll second.
Commissioner Becerra,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Newmeyer.
Yes.
Chairperson Shinsky.
Yes.
Motion carries.
And I'll add to that too, that I think staff shouldn't be the only person there. There should be a member of the commission with you.
That's I like to see as well. Maybe we do a rotation every time there's one commissioner there.
Yeah.
So we work the details and we bring it back to you.
5.6 CV Link art opportunity.
Sure. 5.6, as you mentioned, as a chairperson, is a CV Links opportunity. I will wait for Mr. Herrera to provide me with the slide. I think I have a slide. Yes. Okay, so CV Link opportunity for art opportunities. Let me see. Yeah, that's it. So we are thinking of $50,000. Again, go through RFP. There are, the first location is Fredbearing Bridge or Fredbearing Avenue Bridge. So this is basically shows where CV Links goes through the city. So from Jefferson goes all the way to Calhoun, and that's the city's boundary, the blue. Anything down of Calhoun is now within the city of Indio. So these are an existing facilities within the valley. As you see, they put some art, there is signage, there is shade, there is some stamped concrete. These are other renderings from the CV Link that, as you see, they add some art elements to the route. As you see, there's signage there that says where they are. Oops. Also, because they have solar, so there will be some lighting during the night as well. And this map shows where are the under bridge crossings, where are the places that the bikes and visitors would need to come onto the street. So first location that staff would think is Fredbearing Avenue bridge. As you see, there is a bridge there with a short wall and railing, and as you see, it gets graffitied all the time. So that could be opportunity for some type of very not pronounced and wild mural, but something to flow with the bridge and maybe the concept. This is the other side. There's an opening there, so the bikes will come through from that opening to the street, which there's a bike lane. So one of the opportunities are there for some type of mural. The other opportunity is Shields Park on the right, on the left-hand side, next to that water tanker is Shields Park. So there will be a connection from CV Link to that park. So something can be there. The other connection is through Jackson Park, which is again close to the entry monument area, which the commission just approved as part of the work plan. So these are the three very obvious opportunities that we can basically do something, and it is within the city's properties, within the city right away, so we don't have to go through getting permission from CV Link or a CVWD. So staff would like to know which location, which opportunity the commission would like to see for public arts among these three. And also the budget, as I said, $50,000.
Just one site?
I'm sorry?
It's just one site?
It is 3 sites.
No, but we're just choosing one.
Yes. I mean, if you would like to choose 2, then that will be for the next work plan. And we can get with the CV Link now and say, we have these 2 options. So make sure they know we are not interfering with them, but then bring it back next for execution next fiscal year.
Like any of those spots is.
I definitely want something at Shields Park, and Jackson Park is heavily used with baseball games and the school right there. So I think both of those are great locations. So I'm leaning towards Jackson, but definitely Shields is a good location.
Well, the work plan that we just approved has Jackson. We chose Jackson Park for one of the monument pieces. So we're taken care of at Jackson Park. Shields, it would be really nice to have something in one of the neighborhoods.
Yes.
But I also love the idea of having something on Fredbearing Bridge that is used so extensively that it will, the numbers of viewers will be a lot higher than some other location. So if we can say we want both and one put into the next work plan.
Staff will do that.
Yeah, I like the idea of prioritizing the Shields Park, getting in the neighborhood. And then do you know if CV Link is going to be doing any infrastructure right there in the bike lane, like leading into CV Link?
They're not doing anything within the city's public right of way.
Okay.
So they are like on their own. So it comes to a point and that's it. So the rest, they create the safe, proper connection, but they're not going to do anything to the park. So that's an opportunity.
What's the crossing at Fredbearing going to be? Is it under or?
They are going to build a bridge over the canal.
Okay. But over the top of the bridge or under the bridge of Fredbearing? Or is it a long Fredbearing?
Oh, you're talking about Fredbearing.
Yes.
The Fredbearing is under, go
Okay.
under. Sorry, I thought you were talking
No
about
problem.
the shields.
No, and at Fredbearing, CV Link is covering the bridge that goes underneath the Fredbearing Bridge.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, I think we all like this, so we'd like to make a motion to accept this on the with the caveat that we like Shields and Fredbearing.
Shields and Fredbearing, and would you, if it is 2, would you like to add to the budget for 2, or would you like to keep 50,000 for both projects?
I think 50 for one. So we're
50
going to have to
for-
add for another one.
So 50 for another one?
I'm comfortable just adding shields for now, unless we want to go for 2. Is that what the question is?
The question was the budget.
Okay.
Would you like to increase the budget, or would you like to use 50,000 for both?
Increase the budget.
To what amount?
50 each?
Sure.
Up to 50 each, correct? Okay.
Yes.
With shields really being the priority?
With shields being the priority. Okay.
Who made the motion?
No one yet.
No one yet. We just talked about it.
I will move that we add a second location for the CV Link art opportunity, prioritizing Shields Park and the Fredbearing Crossing for this year's work plan, increasing the budget to $50,000 each.
You have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Commissioner Becerra,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Newmeyer,
Yes.
Chairperson Shinsky,
Yes.
motion carries.
5.7 downtown living room mural opportunity.
So I have a quick presentation for this one, this item. As you mentioned, item
5.7.
5.7 exactly. That shows just the location. So as you know, there is a couple of events within downtown that happens each month, which is the music take the center stage, and the other one is every week, which is the farmers market. So for that, the city is going to build a modular restroom, and that will be within this area. So there's an opportunity for art, which could be paint, mural, or anything on that modular building. So staff would like to know if the commission would like to consider that as an opportunity for paint, mural, or a combination. And if so, how much the commission would like to dedicate to this, and staff brings back more detail next agenda meeting or next meeting on the agenda for more details as how it look like and where the exact location is. At this point, we just would like to know if the commission would like to consider as an opportunity for art.
To paint a modular restroom building.
Correct.
Okay.
Vice Chair, if I may, when I hear modular, I think temporary. So it's a traditional prefab restroom. So, for example,
Mobile?
Like a tree.
no,
Or is it
not
permanent?
mobile.
No.
It's permanent.
Okay.
It's permanent. So, for example, let's take Dr. Carry-On Park. That's a prefab. It's made and they just drop it in with the crane. So it's block wall. That's essentially the material that we're looking at. But we thought rather than if we're going to put a prefab restroom in there, let's beautify the area with the potential mural along the side of the exterior, so it blends in a bit better as we move forward with the living room concept.
Yeah, it will be a fixed foundation. It will have plumbing. It will connect to the sewer. It will have water and lighting. So
And lighting on the building itself. Okay.
yes.
Yeah, it makes sense to me as long as it had a sense of humor. And that's any thoughts?
I'm fine with murals all around. Yeah.
So again, all of these are like to create more opportunity. So we're trying to basically fulfill what the commission has decided on the strategic plan.
Well, then,
Well, without seeing the scale or size of this building, I don't know what the budget ought to be, if
Sure.
that's what you're asking for. So I'm fine with tabling it until next month
Sure.
when we have I mean, you're saying it's a prefab, so you're probably selecting from someone's catalog of design, right? So you've got something in the works.
Correct. Shooting from the hip, which probably shouldn't do, but 8 by 10 feet space. But yeah, they're all prefab standard size, and we're happy to bring that back to you for.
Okay. I just looked at one that was basically a shipping container in the city of Palm Springs, and it cost them a fortune. So I don't recommend making a custom one at that route. So the prefab is probably the way to go.
All right, we bring back more details that you can decide on the budget next time. But the commission just needs to vote on the concept if the commission is okay with it.
I'll motion to approve downtown living room mural opportunity.
I'll second.
Chairperson Becerra?
Yeah.
Vice Chair Newmeyer?
Yes.
Chairperson Shinsky?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Project updates, 6.1.
Regarding the ad hoc committee to merge the two commissions, Public Arts Commission and Community Services Commission, both ad hoc committees met on February 23rd, 2022, and the outcome was to meet in a joint meeting in a quarterly fashion or as needed for collaboration, also sharing the information between both commission by basically sending the information to staff and the staff share it with them for now. And then if it goes in the future, if there is any changes, again, the ad hoc committees would work together to bring back the changes to each commission. But at this point, there's no merge. It's just more of collaboration between the two commissions. So that's the update from staff. Mr. Shinsky was in that meeting. So if you would like to add anything in addition.
Collaboration and communication between the two commissions, because they had no idea that we had done in the past the Art in the Square project. That was one of their priorities to do. I said, well, we've been doing it for years up to a certain point. They had no idea. So yeah, communication and collaboration, and they're very willing to do that. Thank you.
You're welcome. So this is just update. So you don't have to do any voting. And if the chair would like, we can go to the next slide.
6.2.
So 6.2 is the Coachella Valley History Museum water tower. You have a staff report regarding that. And in the staff report, you see one of the attachments to the original approval was basically a data sheet or informational sheet that says the projections are good. Lifetime of the projections are between 5 to 7 years. They need to be installed in a certain time of the year. They can't be under the sun during the hot summers. And also there was some fee for digitaling and making images available for the projection. So at this point, the projections are not operable. So staff would like to know if the commission, based on what was approved in 2016, would like to direct the staff to go and do more detailed research and contact the installer for additional repairs or for change of those projections, because 5 to 7 years, almost we are there. So their lifetime is almost getting to the end. And also the other thing is we probably would like to involve the museum to see what are their thoughts are, and then basically take a look at this and to see how we can address the issues and then make it operable. So staff would like to know if the commission would like to do that. That's not an action item with
Just comments.
Correct.
Yeah, I very much would like to see if it's possible to bring this back up, make them run, but also want to find out from someone else what it's going to take to do that. The background on this is staff at the time, I don't think, did enough research. And when I reached out to some other companies who passed on the original budget, they said that what we were planning to do was going to be about twice as much as what we ended up spending. And had we known that at the beginning, I don't know that we would have necessarily gone as big or gone after something like this. And then because of high staff turnover, we weren't able to get all the answers as far as how to separate ourselves from Philippe's organization. The idea was going to be that he was going to run the install, equip it with the hardware, get us to a point where we could administer it and find someone else to run the program, the actual digitizing and all sorts of stuff. And we never got to that point. And so we were never able to go beyond and actually do what some other places do with projectors, as far as having regular displays, or having, there's a digital graffiti fest that they have in Florida. There's all kinds of things they did, and we never got to that point. And I don't know if it's something that we talk about with the budget, if we know what it's going to take to fix this and actually do it right, and then at some point find out if that's too much for us to stomach, or if it's something we'd like to continue doing. I think the idea should work, just a matter of what it's going to cost to do something like that, and is it worthwhile?
So the other fault is also, I believe we spent at the time $100,000 to get it to this point.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's supposed to be twice as that to get it properly run, and with the cost increase, it may be to 200 or 250,000. So that's, again, it's a decision that the commission and ultimately the council needs to make with input from the History Museum. So we can bring back more information, and then also include the museum. I would say maybe in May, we can bring something back with more detail before you for your consideration.
Okay.
So
I agree with everything EJ said. It would be nice just to get to a conclusion on this project, whether it will work or it won't work, and getting to that conclusion. If there's going to be expenditures, then I think that the museum should chip in and help pay for whatever information we need.
Sure. So we do more research on that. We discuss it with the museum and probably bring you back more detail in May. There's also a caveat, maybe bring something back in April just to create an ad hoc committee to do the rest, if the commission is okay with that.
That sounds good.
All right. Thank you.
6.3, Mural Conservation Assessment Update.
So today we got all the legal documents that we needed in 80%. So there's a 20% that we need to tweak and get it to the finish line. Good thing is we have received consent agreement from the two artists that the murals needs to be removed, which that's really important for the city and for the commission as well. So we have those in place. One of the murals, which is the date history, will be part of the downtown facade improvement project. So the only one currently we're going to remove, or the Arts Commission going to remove, is the electricity history. And that one, we also were lucky, our graffiti team has told us that they can do that for a fraction in the price. So we will save about $5,000 to $6,000 on that. The other thing is the artist for the Indian village, Native American village, is also available, and he is going to repair that mural for the amount of $2,200. So we are sending a contract to him for signing it, and that's the city property, so we can start as soon as he's ready to do so. So those are the updates on the mural conservation program. We also need to put some anti-graffiti coat that the artist that is going to repair suggested. I checked, and it looks like they're using it in LA area, which their murals get tagged all the time, and they show that with a warm water you can remove the graffiti. Also, it adds a more depth and shine to the paint just by applying it. So if that works well there, it will be very easy to clean the other ones. Even a coat of it, this anti-graffiti coat could make the murals to shine and be more vibrant.
Do we have any estimate of cost on the anti-graffiti?
No, I don't have, because I need to talk to the artist to see what he recommends to use for that mural. So then I'll bring that cost as well. But I'm sure we're going to be still under the approved budget, way under the approved budget.
$2,200 is all he's saying to fix that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
that's what I said. When I heard.
I mean, I trust that he's going to do a good job. The mural was good, so
He's the original artist.
yes.
So
Yeah, and even with the anti-graffiti covering, it's still going to be less than, because we asked and we received over 16,000 to have it fixed. So we'll be doing fine.
What was the comment you made about the Date History Museum, the mural with the facade improvement program?
yeah, so there's a facade improvement program through the Economic Development Department. So they're going to revamp the facade of the entire building. So they're going to take care of that removal as well.
Oh, so they're going to, okay. Just clear.
Yeah, just a point of clarification. I don't believe it's actually the facade improvement program, but in collaboration with economic development, we're going to address that particular building and mural, and hopefully actually have economic development cover the costs of taking that down and then repainting. But we're in the early stages of having those discussions. But Layla and I were talking today. We were under the assumption it was part of the facade improvement program, but apparently economic development is still ironing that out to see exactly how that's working on their end. So just a point of clarification.
I just, in my head, I mean, it sounded like we're going to save the mural, and I said, how?
Yeah.
So, no, okay.
Just remind economic development, we gave them 25,000 for the cacti. $6.4 budget update.
So staff provided you with a short staff report that shows fiscal year 2019, 2020, and 2021, how much money came into the art fund and how much was expended. And then also there's a table there that shows how much we currently have in our art fund after we pay all those outstanding fees that we need to pay to the artists. For example, Cerebral K needs to be paid. Half of the Miles Avenue Bridge fee needs to be paid. We just paid half of it per the contract. And then some miscellaneous and other fees that needs to be paid. So we will have close to the $750,000 in our art fund. However, that amount hasn't been appropriated. So with tonight's work plan, some of that will get appropriated to do to basically execute the work plan. So that again is for the commission to receive and file. And if you have any questions that we can answer, we're happy to answer. And if I can't answer, we can bring it back to you next commission meeting.
Very good. Item 7, commissioner comments. Anyone have any items they would like to let us know about?
A teacher from Indio High School called me. I did miss her call, but she did leave a message expressing that they would like to do a mural, Raíces, Culturas, and the County of Riverside Migrant Student Program. And I suggested to Oscar Ortiz, because I talked to him about it, if we could maybe propose the spot next to the cacti as a spot for that project, since it is a space that we want to get filled in.
So Mr. Trujillo, under staff updates and information, will supposed to basically touch base on that project, but no, it's yours. So you can say it now, or we can go to the next item.
We are actually contacted by, I believe, that same teacher, along with the individuals that run the program for RCOE, and what was the other organization? Was RCOE and
Raíces.
Raíces, Culturas.
So we had a great conversation. We were on Zoom, the four of us, Layla and I, and the two of them, identifying potential areas. And what we essentially said was, we were happy to move forward with it. So this coming week, we were going to get back to them with potential locations. Once we have the locations dialed in, then we'd come back to the commission in April and present this item to you. So just so you know, so behind the scenes, we're working with them. We're happy. We think it's a great idea, great concept, but they're still talking about budget, and location and timeline, because they want to complete this project prior to the school year coming out. So we looked at the calendar and said, listen, if over the next couple of weeks, if we can dial in some of the details, we get it before the commission, April 12th, which still allows them ample time to complete the project. So it's in the works, and more to come on that at the next meeting.
Great, thanks.
Who are the individuals that you're dealing with?
Myra, and I will pull up the email.
Myra Sanchez is with the county. Then the lady from Raíces, she actually,
Marnie?
I
Yes.
think so, Marnie.
Yes.
Navarro?
Yeah, exactly. She remembered me from the art center. And then also the teacher is
Ireland.
Jennifer.
Miss Jennifer Ireland.
Exactly, yeah.
She's at Shadow House?
She's at
Or
Indio.
No,
Indio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we were told that there are 10 high school students from Indio High School that they're in the program. So we're working with them, and as Mr. Trujillo said, we bring it back to you.
Are you talking about the wall by the cacti?
Is a potential option, but we are at this point, we have several ideas on the table. We'd even talked about some of the crosswalks, the small mural projects. We even threw out the concept of that. What we are probably looking away from is at this point is a large wall mural, just because it's that's high real estate, and we figured we would want to defer to the commission that, as we're doing the mural projects and updates moving forward, that we'd want to reserve that for something else. But at this point in time, we don't have an actual space identified. We, if that restroom was in at that point in time, we could entertain that, but it unfortunately will not be. But we are open to suggestions. We will circle back with them likely tomorrow and have another call.
I mean, if I could, if the students are willing and up for it, I think giving them the opportunity to give them that much real estate would be a really good idea, opposed to the smaller pieces, because it is, if it's 10 of them, I think that they can get it done, and it'd be a really cool piece.
Yeah, and I think that was our initial concern was the timeline, because if we went with a large piece, could they finish it before the school year gets out on June 3rd? But yeah, no, great dialogue, and they're excited about it. We're excited. We just need to finalize the deal points.
They'd work after school is out.
But the other concern that we had was also safety, because they need to get on the ladder, those things. So that's why we said something more manageable and small could be more feasible. But we'll talk to them to see what.
Well, I know how Marnie works, and she's a good supervisor. Yeah, she's safety conscious.
I wonder if they've thought of any locations either near in the campus of Indio High School or anything like that. Like, it just strikes me as living down the street from the football stadium. Is that whole backside, the wall that faces the sidewalk, if that's available, or just any other place?
Yeah, one area that we actually had discussed after we had our phone call with them is the teen center. And we were thinking about the basketball court surface. They can do a pretty cool piece right there. Now, the one challenge that came up with that is we're going to resurface that basketball court. So the timing may not work out when which it's available. Then we moved into possibly doing one of the walls inside the teen center. So again, there's lots of suggestions and ideas that we're still considering, but definitely point well taken, Vice Chair.
I think if anything, it should be an exterior wall, because that way general public people can see what the young artists in this community are doing. They'll never see it inside the teen center. So more exposure, the better. All right. Commissioner comments? Anyone have any tidbits they want to share? No? Well, our next meeting is April 12th. Yes.
Correct.
April 8th, Coachella Valley Arts Center is having an opening of cultural cannibalism. You're all invited, 5 to 8. It's going to be a very interesting exhibition. I've got 5 artists doing installation pieces based on the concept of cultural cannibalism. So you can see how each person interprets that. Should be getting a lot of good press. I know Kim Manfredi is one of the artists, and she just had a profile in Palm Springs Life, and it was mentioned there. So please come on the 8th.
And if the chairperson shared that information, or if you have anything that you can send it to me, then you can also share it with the Community Services Commission.
Certainly will.
Thank you.
Staff updates. I think you just gave them, didn't you?
Yeah, that's all that I had, Chair.
I just wanted to add one comment, which is we added a new agenda item, which is presentation by local artists and or arts organizations. This is again in line with artist advocacy and kind of like, in line with the strategic plan. So we will have that in all our agendas. And if there's anything coming up, we will agendize it for you. Thank you.
Well, thank you for adding that. I think we need to get the word out to artists and other organizations. If they have something they want to say, come and say it. This is a public meeting. We're here to represent them and do what will benefit this city. So you have the opportunity, take advantage of it. Then I guess we are at number 9, adjournment.
I'll move to adjourn.
I'll second.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.